Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. The Senior Center Commission, Thursday, July 21st, 2022. It is 4:10 p.m. We have quorum. We're going to skip introductions today since it's the same people hanging out in the same room with no members of the public. So if you want to know who we are, you can send me an email. So agenda item number 2 is minutes of the June 16th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Awesome. Motion and the second to approve the minutes. Any edits that anybody want to make? Any corrections? Anything to commentary about the minutes? All right. If nothing, let's go ahead and vote. Everybody who approves the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody doesn't want the minutes to pass, say nay. Awesome. So that passes. That's so awkward always. Anyways. Agenda item number 3 is public discussion for items not on the agenda. We don't have any members of the public, so we're just going to skip that one. Agenda item number 4 is operational overview. Latasha Deloach is here, and she will give us an update.
So not much going on. Obviously, we are in prep mode for fall, so we know the fall is going to be really busy. I've been doing some meetings with all of our in-house agencies. According to our policies, I have asked them all to come at least once a year to give you all a presentation about their functions here and the different things that they're doing here in the building, to do an annual update with you all. So look forward to that, probably starting this fall, that we'll get one of those agencies. I believe it's about 4 or 5 agencies. And if we include our bands, then it will be about 6 of nonprofits that are in our building utilizing our space for free. So we want them to be able to present to you all, so you guys can get an update on the services they provide, as well as members, etc. Some numbers, so we know what's going on. So that will be happening soon, as well as we're still working on our marketing plan. We will have a meeting next week specifically to look more at some of our new designs. And my biggest staff goal is more recognition, as we are going to be going out eventually, once we figure out our renovation pieces, to solicit dollars from organizations and individuals. And so we're making sure that our marketing is clear and up to date. It's been about 10 years since we've actually changed what our marketing looks like. So we need to freshen that up, give it some new perspective. As you can see, some people are sad that our burning bushes are gone out in front, but it was some necessary things that we had to. We're just really overgrown on the Lynn Street and side with all of our trees and bushes. So Parks came out and had to cut down some branches and some different things, because it was just so difficult to see the building. We already have name recognition issues, and we were like, we need people to actually see the building. They couldn't even see really the sign because it was just really overrun with bushes and different things. And so that's happening here in the building. Obviously, we continue to do small updates around the building, getting new small pieces of furniture. You'll see new furniture at the front desk, as well as a new front desk. I know you already have seen that by now, but as well as on the 3rd floor. We recently replaced in the library area on the 3rd floor. We replaced furniture there. Definitely looking forward to that. We probably won't do anything major in our lobby until we figure out what we're doing for renovations, because that's going to be a much higher cost to get all new furniture and carpeting and different things out there to cover up some of the sound from the terrazzo, from click-clackety shoes that come through there. I think things are going pretty well. From a programming standpoint, we'll still continue to connect with other agencies that are working with older adults and making sure that we're being able to provide the services that we can, as well as continue to do our outreach. Be partnering soon with some of the folks from the Latino Festival to specifically work on bringing in some more of our Latino older adults into the space. And so right now we are providing them space for dance practice for the Latino Festival that's coming up. So we've done that for the last couple of years that they've had that. And I look forward to working with them and identifying some folks that we can get some more services and activities and classes and different things that will bring in some more of our Latino participants, as well as I need to reach back out to some of my contacts in the Sudanese and Congolese community about getting some more membership from those communities as well as other communities that are interested. We know we want to make sure that we're serving a diverse population because we have a diverse population in our community. So we'll continue to do that. I also want to make mention that we do have a space or two available on our commission. So that's to the public and to you all to recruit some folks. Of course, we're always looking for diversity of gender as well as diversity of thought as well as diversity of background to be a part. So if there's folks out there that are interested, we're pretty low maintenance group. And we would love for people to be a part of this. So I'll continue to put that out for others in the community to reach out. And all you have to be is at least 18 and live in Iowa City. So it's not an age thing per se, but care and concern for the senior center and how we move forward obviously is an optimum goal if you're interested in applying. As for our senior center master plan update, is it okay if I move on? Okay. As you all have, if you've seen the Gazette, and I'm sure the Press Citizen is working on a article as well. They both kind of contacted me together. Well, not together, but same time. There we are working. I'm working with actually a retired professor here that's a member of the senior center, new to the community, specifically helping me. She's a researcher. She's specifically helping me build a survey so that we can get that out to the community because, as you know, we've discussed multiple times about, this is a large investment. Do we want to invest this money here at this building, or do we want to look at another facility, knowing that we have some issues that won't be resolved, i.e. parking, etc. If we stay here, we can make the building as beautiful as possible, but it's not going to resolve some issues. So we're working on that. I completely forgot. This is kind of programming, but Meals on Wheels has been partially operating, and they are planning to be back here in the building. They are here in the building currently, out in the lobby area, but they will be back and using the kitchen at some point. The goal was initially to start this upcoming week doing a soft soft open, but given the high numbers of COVID and that's coming back, they've decided to slow that down a little bit. So once that's back up and going and we have a date, we can announce that to more folks. So that's just, that's the life we're living in right now. So completely understand that. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Am I missing anything major coming up?
Can't think of anything.
Okay. I'm like, am I missing anything? I don't think I am, but if I am, I'll let you all know for sure. But it was just those couple of things, and we're still moving forward. And the band is back, so the New Horizons band, it's normally here. That's been here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They are back here in the building. There's been some parking woes, but I think they only have one more practice, and then they take a break for the month of August, and then they'll be back in September. And hopefully by September, we'll have all of our parking stuff situated. Fingers crossed. That's all I got.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Latasha? Nope. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to commission discussion. Again, the master plan discussion is on the agenda item. Does anybody else have anything to say about the master plan or want to commit?
Rumors? Anything?
Comment?
No.
Yeah. And the next item is report of community correspondence. So like I describe every week, every month, this is where we talk about things that are not on the agenda that we've done that might be relevant to what we do here. Make announcements of things. We can't discuss anything, but you can comment on stuff. No comments. Oh, it's a quiet group. Okay, the next one is future agenda items. Is there anything that we need to discuss in the future that you're hoping we...
So Latasha, how is this survey going to work? The one for the building, right?
Yes. The survey would be, we're gathering specific types of questions is what we're doing right now. So I've reached out to stakeholders and different folks. And if you all have specific questions that you're interested in being on the survey, we're just gathering. We're brainstorming right now. We're gathering them, and then we will organize them. We will pay for the survey to go out as far as we can, community-wide, even county-wide, depending on the budget.
And how do you plan on doing that? Mailings or?
We will mail them, as well as we will have electronic options for folks. We will also have focus groups so people can come in. We'll have some discussion. We may even have to sit around and have some tables and talk about it if that's necessary as part of our plan. We did some of that when we first came into the master plan. It wasn't initially on the table to look at a new location until we really got deep into it and we saw how much work that the building really needed. It hasn't been renovated since it opened 41 years ago. So after, now that we've opened up a few things. And the other thing is we know that it's an estimate, and we also know it's the platinum plan, but we also know that we haven't opened the walls to start doing some of that work. So we don't know this is a over 100-year-old building. We don't know. It's cute with paint on, but we don't know what's behind there.
What did they cover up the first time?
Right, and this was back in the late 70s, so things are different, and we've done lots of upgrades. Obviously, we've done lots of upgrades, but we do one of our biggest ticket is our HVAC, because we have 3. I think we have 3. Yes, we have 3 of them to run this building. It's not just one we have to update. So yes, go ahead.
Oh, so another thing also, because I know we've talked about in the past how the settling of the third floor, that is going to be going ahead no matter what?
Oh, you talking about the exterior of the building?
Yeah, how it's...
The exterior of the building is going to be taken care of regardless if we go or stay, because the city owns this building, and it is our responsibility as stewards of this building to make sure it's taken care of. Yeah. This is a city-owned building, so it will definitely still be. That's what the first thing they're doing. We're working on the contracts for that right now.
Okay.
So that's going to get done. The other question is, the bigger ticket items is the interior, right? So the exterior has to be done because there's some safety concerns and different things like that, because it's an old building and we don't want stuff to start falling off, and because nobody wants a lawsuit, right? So we gonna fix those things right away. But when it comes to the interior of the building and thinking about our population and the people we serve, are we serving them in the best way we possibly can by staying in this location, or do we need to consider a new location? Is why we are pulling out the survey to ask that question, and we have to ask the people who are currently using the building as well as people who will use the building. And so I think that that's important. It can't just be just what folks are saying right now, but we have to think about people who will continue to use the building long after. And this is a community building, right? It's specifically geared towards older adults, but it's a community building. Anyone can rent a room here, anyone, and you know what I'm saying? So we want to make sure that we're thinking about that as well. We have to keep the big picture in mind. So that's why we're soliciting information.
In other words, too, like, since we're waiting for the survey to be completed and see what people say, if, let's say, the majority really feel they'd like a different location, there's nothing picked as far as a location as of yet?
No.
Okay. It's just that's just the first
That's
step.
just out there, and then and then that's a process, right? Because then it's you have to find a place, and then you have to come up with new plans about what Then this turns into a much longer process if we decide to leave. And regardless, this is not something. It's not a quick fix here. There's no quick. The quick fixes is we got the room painted. That was a quick fix. But as for some of the other things that need to be done here, those are not things that we can do very quickly. So it will take time and consideration and millions of dollars for sure.
when whatever happens, when it's completed, I won't be here anymore. Like, that's how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's going to be a while. I mean, it's going to be a while, but it's an investment, right? It's the same thing when we went through the master plan with our schools to get those new schools and those different things. But now we're seeing the results, right? All the kids can get air conditioning. You can see so many more improvements. Less times kids are out of school. Now everybody has electronics, so they don't have to miss schools. But, so it's those things over time happen, and haven't been a part of that process and a part of this process. I know it takes, 10, 15 years sometimes to get everything done that you want done. And so, but the goal is that we're building a senior center that will be here for generations.
I'm curious whether or not demand has hit such a threshold that maybe we could have 2 seniors. So this would be home base, and then a more accessible location would be like the new improvements, or like parts of the functions you guys do here can be pushed off into a different location, like some of the exercise stuff, and this could be like the gathering space building. And so maybe it wouldn't need a lot of fancy upgrades for anyways.
It's definitely an option. It definitely is something that we have talked about, probably in passing. Like, well, what if? Because when I came here to the senior center, we were a bit less likely to expand outside the building, and I was like, but that's where the people are. And so we started working with just moving SHIP to Mercer Park, right? Then we started working with the city of North Liberty. Now we're in North Liberty, and we have SHIP out there, as well as some classes that were. So we're starting to do that kind of. Is it called hub and spoke?
Yeah.
So we kind of, that was my goal, was say, hey, I really believe in serving people where they are, because I was coming from a more county, state kind of mindset about how we serve people. And so we've been able to do that and been really successful in reaching out to other folks. And I think we have more, if I had more staff, we could definitely do that more effectively. If I had more consistent volunteers who had that time to do that, then we could do that too.
More money?
Yeah, more. It's always more money, and it's always more resources, right? The resources could be people, but the resources could also be money. So any of those things. When we
talk about moving this location, I think we forget that, Ecumenical Towers is right there. Then we'd be abandoning them. Or being downtown in a walkable area where people could get off the bus and walk here. If this was somewhere out there, all of us could drive as we drive. But there's lots of people who, as somebody who works with transportation and seniors, a lot of people don't drive. So you have to be somewhere where it's high density, where it's familiar and visible and walkable. And
if we move, they're gonna put a bus stop right at the front door.
Yeah.
Trust me on that.
If we were out by Mercer, people couldn't get there. And so I think for me, I would want to wrap my head around having 2 spaces and keeping this where it's at.
An interesting thing, Angela. I like that idea. That should be definitely, I think, part of the survey too. As could this, what do you guys think about this being an option? Of having this the home base, and then
Well, please, I'll write it down, but please feel it'll be in our notes too. But please send me ideas if you want to expand further on that, and that's something we could definitely include. It. We haven't right now we're gathering, so I've been getting emails from different folks. So feel free, if you have a random thought in the middle of the night, keep a notebook by the side of your bed. If you dreamed up the solution, please email me or call me about it. We would love to have it, and that could be something that we put out, because there is in no way from any leader of this community is there any desire that the senior center is not here. We're looking at how do we make it better, how do we make it last for generations to come. So I just want to be really, really clear on that this is about how do we invest in those that are here and those that are coming, right? And I'm excited about that, because I'm one of the up and comings. And so, I'm excited about what this has the potential to be for so many more folks to come. And my children love coming here, and, they're nowhere near our population, but they learn to play pool. Sometimes they learn new stuff they probably, could, last a couple years later. But, but they enjoy being here because it's safe and they know that, well, most people know that if it's two little chocolate babies running around, they're probably mine. But, it's a community center here. And so we want to continue to have that because our older adults have families and some of them don't. And so they love seeing other families here because they don't have that opportunity either. So that's where my mind is how do we serve holistically and not just individually from a community standpoint. So I'm one of those healing, engagement, equity people. Just go with me.
The other thing about this space is it's very visible to the city council, which is a good thing. And,
They can't miss
if you go
it.
totally off-site, then you're kind of out of their view.
mind,
Yeah. It's very
So
easy.
I think that's a
yeah.
very important
Yeah.
piece.
I think that's very important as well.
Yeah.
But trust me, I wouldn't let them. Because I'm going to come in there with all my curly hair like, I know y'all see me.
Yeah. But this way, even when they're walking downtown,
Yeah,
passing by, so
it keeps and I think that's why I'm working harder on the exterior of our building. It's because I want to keep it in the forefront of the community,
Yep.
what we are. And we can't be hidden behind bushes and trees that nobody can see that we're here because people walk by, they don't know what we are, who we are. So you'll see some of those changes with some of our signage outdoors so that people know who we are. So I'm sure people will love it and some people will hate it, but I've learned that that's just the job.
That's
just
the way
job.
it is.
That's just the way it is. Can't please everybody. We try. Okay, so that would be wrapping up my master plan update.
Yeah, we're going back.
Or the master plan discussion.
So does anybody have any more comments on future agenda items before we adjourn? All right, I'm going to adjourn at 4:32 p.m.